Okay, so after Monday, we finally get to see more of this Uncle Howdy, and more so them than the YS6. And I wanted to see how what they were going to do Monday in order to really say anything, whatever. Because it's like, hey, they came off really great that first. I was like, not this past Monday, but the Monday before that, and I'm like, hey, all right. I like how they set it up. I like that they are a threat. You don't necessarily know what they hear and all of the other stuff. Cool, good setup, but we don't ever know how these things are going to go, good or bad. We want to have expectations moderately decent. You know, I didn't want to say I don't want to say low because it is something that is hype. Whether that had been because of what we thought we might have gotten before with Bray when Bray was still here, to you don't want to also have it too high crazy since Bray's gone and it's like okay cool, how are they going to navigate through this? But it's also something that they still kept around, so you still want to be like okay, because you the problem is that it's also high because of the fact of it's Bray stuff that they're still trying to do. They gotta change it a little. They gotta change it up probably a lot from what they probably was going to do. At the same time, what we sort of seen in some in the 101 that they had, that the expectations also are going to be high, but you don't want to be unfair about it. You want to also give it time to grow and see where its legs go. Just because, I mean, with this stuff in general, whether I was like, if we, we would have had a different look on it if Bray was here because it's like how stuff has been sort of in the past where it's like it's really good, but then it's like okay, where we're going to go from here. But underneath AAA, we might have gave it a little bit more of a time to deal with the spooky, I guess, aspect that you want to say about it. Always sort of throwing it off in the wrestling world. Especially how we sort of seen here where you got like real wrestling going on and then this comes about and it sort of throws off the nature of it. Chad Gable, the way he got splattered, everybody was like, he dead, he done, you know, and then he basically in a triple threat match for the Money in the Bank, fine, and he won it. So, you want to see how that sort of navigates. But I think with the video package, I mean, not the video package, but the VHS tape that we got, I think not only did it give a good indication of where they're going to go and probably what they're going to do with it, but also how are they going to be dealing with all their action and stuff. And, I was like, we give it the spooky aspect to it because it's like, dudes in masks, lights go out, smoke machine, stuff like that, people being like odd and creepy. But at the same time, they're kind of like a gang, a faction, that just sort of just like the little dress up cosplay. Also too, we, outside of really the guy, that guy that had his head splattered, and even then, if you think about it, we really don't know or can't confirm that anybody died or nothing like that. Whereas like everybody was just taken out or brutally injured. Gable with that. So now that's like okay, cool. It lets them stay in the realm of being able to like, oh, we're going okay, cool. They're going to do wrestling in this aspect. They're going like like I guess that these are their personas that they're being, but they're going to get in a ring or whatever. Now whether they, cause I highly doubt they're going to wrestle in the mask. The gear yes, but the mask no. Um, so I think that's already cool. A question that, all right, it is going to be horror themed, but it's not going to be paranormal in that type of way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like how Nikki Cross came up out the ground and stuff like that and whatnot. But then you've seen that all she did was afterward that she just left through the crowd. So that sort of takes away that it's like okay, they're not full on being like a ghost disappear. No, nothing like that. But that doesn't mean that they won't show up out of nowhere. They won't just lights go out, there they are kind of thing. It won't be the lights flickering and all that other stuff. Like I feel like we'll still have that thing. So I think that's good. Kind of like now I was like, and that's the part of that's I think the part of helping simmer expectation. Like I said, not necessarily lowering them, but simmering down to where it's like, okay, how are they going to get away with some of this weird, spooky, goofy stuff and still do serious ass wrestling over here? It's like, no, they're going to still be there at some point. They're going to figure. They're going to be like, okay, yeah, we're going to wrestle and we're going to take you out, but we're also going to do all this stuff out here in the back. Cool. I was like, also, I think the like we'll like I mean at some point we'll probably know what maybe the original story script or whatever you want to say was to all this, you know, almost like like a movie, how like a movie has like an original thing that they were going to do and they like, oh, we got to change plan to revise it, almost similar to Black Panther 2, where there was this movie, there was a concept, all the other stuff. I was like, Chadwick Boseman dies, so therefore they got to change the whole movie. They got to change the whole script. But I was like, Ryan Coogler put out what the actual story is supposed to be, and I feel like this later, like as soon as whenever this gets done, we don't know how long it's going to last, but I'm pretty sure that at some point, and we might get snippets here and there too until like that is because things leave people talk or whatever. Maybe he just want to get off the chest. Maybe we might get more videos like this that tell what was going to happen, where we'll know the original plan, what was supposed to really go down, and where they had to change it here, revise it. Because I do feel like you do after something like that, you kind of do. You want to sort of like, okay, cool. We want to like. You don't want to take exact all stuff that he was, especially because he was going to have to play a big part of it, and you want to sort of like make it your own to tell the story of what it is now with everything that done happened. And I think you got a good glimpse of that with it was Uncle Howdy interviewing. Insert here because I don't think I caught name of what they were going, his real name or his wrestling name, but they still they still address Bray Wyatt, one Rotunda in there. So, and that's why I think also this sort of helps keeps it grounded, where it's not going to be that silly horror stuff. It's because it's direct. It's talking to him directly about the situation, what's going on, in a way that's it's real world and it's kayfabe. Like it's tackling both things. It's talking about how he's really hurting, and it's talking about what they were also going to do together in the aspect of wrestling. So you're getting both avenues of it. It's keeping it grounded in that type of way, and it's also telling the motivation of him of like why he's doing this. He doesn't want people to forget about him, his brother, what this was going to be, and all that. And also hearing the things online of are you basically taken from the fact of your brother, basically like like you basically just doing this just to get yourself over kind of thing, or like like how people do stuff and it's like it's not a tribute, it's just really so you could just keep on siphoning off of somebody's name and stuff like that. So he's hearing all that other stuff and putting it into this as well too. And it'd be interesting to see what he goes by that, and because for instance, Chad Gable was like his real first victim that we know. All the other people were just like backstage hands. And when Nikki Cross came out this time, it was at Chad Gable once again. And it's almost one of them things where it's like, okay, well, looking at Chad Gable's character, he's been a dick to his team, his family, and I was like for the last 2 months or so. And so it's like, okay, he like Bo or like lost his family, and it's like, okay, so this is gonna be like, you don't treat your family like that, so is he gonna start coming out on people like that? how long is this going to go with Chad? Especially the fact that he's been trying to get the Intercontinental Championship for a while. He's in the Money Bank thing, which I don't think he's going to win. But it is going to be his first. But it is going to be their first feud. And guess what? Chad Gable's going to get murked in whatever way you want to say it. But so it's like, are they just going to randomly attack people? Is that their motive of attacking people who's been really like horrible to other people? Are they just here to cause destruction for a good while? I was like, I think that's more of a short game. I think the long game is basically some form of bonding with the people over the grief of his brother passing. I think that's what's going to be the whole thing over on the end. And what totality that is, who knows? I was like, I think we're gonna get more and more of these interviews. I don't know if it's gonna be the whole team, but I would expect that you would sort of get the whole team involved, because you would think that, especially like Rowan, would have like a connection too. That's also like, it's not the same thing as Bo with being his brother, but it is on a level where it's like those two were together for like hella years, for a long time and stuff like that. And Rowan, who's lost Bray and Luke within like what, about a year or two each other. So he might have his own story with this as well too, where he's like I'm dealing with double losses or something. And as far as the other three with Gacy, Loomis, and Cross, I don't know what their story will be. So you expect that they're gonna be tied in. But I was like, I actually, to be honest, I like this type of stuff in wrestling. I was like, it doesn't take me out of it. Like, I know some people it can, because I do understand that it's like, if it can be like how it has been, it is too silly where it's like, oh. But for the most part, I'm like, yeah, but it's like a segment. It's not this. I was like, if you do it to the right people at the right time, like the Fiend was freaking great. It was. And I didn't mind him like going at Seth. But the problem was it was too quick. It does make your champion does look a little like a scaredy cat. And it was too quick for him to go to the championship, and it was too quick for he didn't even really start anything with other people. He murdered a couple people, but he didn't really set out like he's supposed to, where it was like set up for that. Whereas I think he just had his one off with Seth and it just disappeared kind of thing like that. But this, I think they're gonna give it the time. It's gonna be a long game. I don't know. I think they're gonna probably do this for a couple weeks, for a while before because I think they're not going to have them appear I think for a while they're gonna show up constantly, and then they're gonna disappear, because I don't think they're gonna burn this out. I think they want to keep it the attraction that it is, like how the Fiend was. That was sort of what made the Fiend great, is that it was stuff leading up, then we got stuff, then we actually got him, and then he would not show up, then he would show up, and that'd be great. And then so I think with that's what we gonna really get here in the whole totality thing. But how are y'all feeling about it so far? I guess the thing that would be curious is, I know they had SmackDown on high alert last week, but I don't know if they're going to keep it to a Raw thing, because it's 3 hours. They could do it there, where SmackDown with 2 hours, you don't really have the same time. You got the Bloodline stuff that's taking over. I don't know if there's enough time to do it there. Maybe like a little wrinkle or something like that. Maybe you could do. I just don't know where the space is for it. But it'd be interesting to see if they do it and allow them to be across brands. I think that'd be cool. I think they just need to figure. I was like, they're like, if they are going to feud or not. We're going to get the story regardless. I'm not really worried about that part. I'm really just wondering, like, okay, or who are they going to feud, or that type of thing. But how are y'all feeling about it? Let me know. Tell me, what are y'all ideas on how far this can go? I was like, I have thoughts, but I was like, I'm still sort of waiting to see. I don't want to jump too far in. I was like, I still feel like we're at a trailer phase. Like we done seen the first trailer, this is the second trailer, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, we got a good idea. But I was like, I'm waiting to see where it goes before I just start saying some hoopla out of nowhere. But until then, peace. I'm out.